Okay, today we're taking a look at these three Canon cameras and we'll discuss the best of and maybe which one you should use and in what situation. First off, we have the G12, and overall I'm going to kind of go through this as someone who is an amateur photographer. I mostly use these for video, for tutorial videos and DIY videos at home, and kind of go through the course of why I got each one of these. First off, the Canon G12. This is a wonderful initial camera if you're wanting to get a step above just your phone camera and you want to get something a little bit deeper, then this is perfect. Now, some things to think about is it's actually one of two things. It's perfect because there's no way to add a lens. The lens is the 5x 150. It's a zoom lens, but this is all that you get. You can't put a different one on here. You can't take that off. And that sometimes lends to, making it easier to work with. What I love about this also is it comes out, so you're able to pull this out and you're able to see it. So if you have it in front while you're in front of the shot, then you can turn this around so you can see what's going on in the camera to make sure that you're always in view and that it's working properly. They have several features, and you see right here, I have it on video because I've always been really doing video. Several items that you can choose from. The biggest thing that I used, like I said, was I used it simply to take all of my videos on training videos at first, and then I moved to DIY videos as well for my home projects. The other cool thing about this is it is HD, although it's HD 720. HD 720 is still HD or in high definition, so you're still going to do a good job. So if you're wanting a nice entry camera for whatever you're taking videos of, or maybe even pictures if you want, then this is a really good one. The next one that I went up to is the Canon M50. Now this is still probably my favorite camera to work with. This is the body of it, and we'll kind of go over some of the reasons why I love it. You can see here again, I'm in the video mode because that's really what I use this for. I love the fact that, again, this will pull out and you can switch it and turn it so that you can see at all times if you want to. You can also pull it back so you can see it if you prefer it in this way. This also has a viewfinder, so you can actually view what's going on if you're doing kind of photography or if you're out in the sun and you're not able to see what's on here. Right now I don't have a lens on, so you're not seeing anything here, but everything is really easy to use right from here. I have this set up with what was the stock lens for me. I'll do tutorials, basically HD tutorials, DIY tutorials in my backyard, and I'll have this up on a tripod and I'll set it up. I can open this up and put a memory card in here, and then it just makes it really easy to transfer the memory card when I'm done. The biggest thing that I've used, like I said, were for videos. You can set up recording here, and you just have so many features and functions that you can go through to set everything up. This is also able to work in 4K, although I wouldn't recommend 4K, but your best bet is to use HD, and that's what I would use. And this is true HD, meaning it goes all the way up to the 1080 by 1920. So if you're wanting something like that, this is a fantastic one. Now, the reason why I actually moved over to another camera is it does not put out, if you're looking to do, say, streaming or video on your camera, it doesn't easily do what's called clean HDMI output, meaning there would be some of this information, if you're not careful, that would be on here. The other cool thing about the Canon is this is a Canon M50, is this is a mirrorless, and so it will easily use any of the Canon lenses, either the standard lenses, or if you get the adapter, then you can do that as well. It is a mirrorless, which means it has a crop factor of 1.6. That just means it kind of zooms in 1.6 off of any of the lenses that you have. Meaning if you have, say, a 22 millimeter lens on here, like the Pancake, then that will crop into, it's closer to a 35 millimeter lens if you had a 35 millimeter on here. The other cool thing is this is wireless, so you could connect to your camera from your desktop and pull the images that way, so you don't have to pull the images out from the memory card. Now, I did find that sometimes if they were really large files, then it might get a little stuck and it's just easier to just pull it out. But if you have this all set up, say on a tripod or something like that, then being able to remove them from the web connection is a really good feature to have. So let's talk about the M6 Mark II. So this is a really good upgraded camera. It's a little bit updated from the others. One of the things I'm not a fan of is you see that you have kind of this functionality. Instead of it swooping out to the side, this goes up in an awkward way. And it's okay. You also have this technology where it will turn on and you can see it like this, but it's just a little bit more, I'm just not as much of a fan. I prefer them to come out to the side, but you can do it like that. And then it also just stays flat like this. So there's no way to cover this screen if you want, but you can do clean HDMI, which is the reason why I got this one. And this is actually my current setup for any of my Zoom calls, any of my tutorials that I do at my desk. I do have this. Again, this one doesn't have a lens. Neither of these have the lens, but it's a mirrorless camera. So it allows you most of the Canon lenses that you want to use. And you can also, with an adapter, even add even more. So really good features. You have dual functionality. Most of the time you can simply put it in manual or automatic focus and it will find my face very well. It is a really good feature to have. Again, I'm not doing a whole lot. I simply set it up. I actually do the HDMI with an HDMI line, but the other cool thing is the way that Canon is working. They now have the webcam utility that you can connect it with just a USB, and then you can connect it directly to your camera. No need to worry about anything. The other cool feature about this is there is Wi-Fi feature, so you could transfer your data from your camera on over to your desktop. Some of the things that I have found with doing that is there might be, if they're really big files, it might have an issue with copying over, but it's a really good setup if you have everything set up. If you have this on a tripod, which I normally have this on a tripod put in, and if I don't want to have to take it off and remove it so I can remove the memory card, then that's really easy. But otherwise, fairly easy to remove and take with you. Now, something to think about here, or realize that it does not have a viewfinder out of the box. They do have an add-on that you can buy to give you a viewfinder. So if you're outside, just know that what you're seeing will be just from the screen, no viewfinder unless you upgrade to that. So I would say, wanting to just get started with the G6, because you're not going to go wrong with that. It will really get you going. If you're wanting to, take it a little bit of a step further, add some lenses for that bokeh or the blurred background effect, then either of these two will work. I am partial to the M50, but I think that's just because that's what I started working with most when I really got into things, and just really love the way that it handles in my hand, the way it pulls out, and the way I have a viewfinder if I need it. But then you can have clean HDMI output with the M6 Mark II if you want.